Andrea Arnold's Road Odyssey, American Honey is, in my opinion, one of the most criminally underrated films of 2016. It's captivating and beautiful and unlike any road movie I've seen before. The film tells the story of a young woman who flees her abusive home and joins Shia LaBeouf and a gang of 20-somethings as they traverse across America selling magazines. The film adheres to a number of thematic road movie genre conventions, such as the exploration of the American dream, freedom, and self-discovery through the journey. However, there's something about American Honey that makes it more radical than virtually every other film in the road movie genre. And that thing lies at the very center of the film, the thing that audiences connect with and root for. Its protagonist. American Honey stars newcomer Sasha Lane as Star, who stands out in a sea of white characters as the only person of color. Star's dreadlocks and darker skin tone make her visibly different from the rest of the kids in the gang of travelers. What I find particularly interesting, though, is that the topic of Star's race is never explicitly addressed by anyone in the film. However, a deeper reading of the film reveals subtextual hints that Star's race plays a critical role in the way she's treated by her fellow travelers as well as her experience on the road. So, without further ado, let's get started.
I like to make money, get turned. I like to make money, get turned.
To kick things off, I want to start by introducing this idea known as othering. Othering and the concept of the other roots back decades and decades, even centuries throughout world history, but it was popularized by Edward Said in the 1970s in his book titled Orientalism. At its most basic level, othering can be defined as any action by which an individual or a group becomes mentally classified in somebody's mind as not one of us. Furthermore, othering can result in the subordination of certain peoples and thereby constructing superior identities and societal hierarchies. These distinctions can involve gender, sexuality, religion, and, in the case of American Honey, race.
Say loud, let's go! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This bitch ain't got no job. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's back it up and do it again. Say hi. Hey-o. Got money. Got dough.
I would argue that Star's race and existence as a black woman amongst an exclusively white cast contributes to the othering she experiences throughout the film. It's important to note that this othering isn't necessarily explicit. It's not like people are saying, Star, you don't belong with us because you're black. But there are definitely some recurring motifs throughout the film that hint at that exact sentiment. So for this video, I'm going to be diving into two of these motifs: the use of music and the use of Confederate flag iconography. So let's get started with music.
He was down on his luck. You a fat? No. You a boss player? You a Mac? Yeah. Let me hold a couple dollars. No. Y'all still be popping y'all collars? Yeah. Stock reels on the street. No. Paint wetter than a lake. Yeah. Voodoo in my blood.
American Honey's soundtrack blends songs from hip-hop, country, and alternative indie rock genres. I think there's a conversation to be had about the film's use of music, especially in regards to white appropriation of black culture and the white characters that freely shout the N-word as they sing along. However, perhaps that's a topic for another time. Instead, I'm going to be focusing on the titular song American Honey. American Honey is a country song written and performed by the country group Lady Antebellum. The song makes multiple appearances throughout the film. It's first introduced at the very beginning of the film when Star meets Crystal, who is the leader of the group. Let's take a look at that scene.
Hey.
Right here.
You coming with us?
Yes, ma'am.
You must be the little redneck chick then. What's your name?
Star, ma'am.
That's your real name?
Yes, ma'am.
How old are you?
18.
So you're a grown woman now.
Yeah, I guess.
Where's that accent from?
Texas.
So you a southern girl, a real American honey like me. You know that song?
No.
This scene may be subtle, but Star's ignorance to the song is what first establishes her as an other and, in Crystal's mind, shows that she's truly not one of them. Towards the end of the film, the song makes its big appearance. Let's take a look at how that plays out. While virtually all the white characters are able to sing along in a moment of unity and strengthened bonding, Star is left not knowing the words. This scene works as a bookend to Star's initial meeting with Crystal at the beginning of the film, and in this moment, audiences along with Star start to realize that just maybe she does not belong. Now, let's shift gears to take a look at the second recurring motif that also contributes to Star's othering, the Confederate flag. Anyone who's taken a middle school history class knows the Confederate flag's historical associations with racism, slavery, segregation, and white supremacy. But today, many white Southerners proudly flaunt the flag, claiming it represents Southern pride. A 2015 poll conducted by CNN found that 75% of white Southerners view the Confederate flag as a symbol of pride, while 75% of black Southerners view the flag as a symbol of racism. In American Honey, there are two instances in which the Confederate flag is present, and in both, Star is placed in a degrading or dehumanizing situation. So the first instance comes from a scene at the very beginning of the film before Star even hits the road. She prepares dinner and is approached by a man who refers to himself as Daddy. Now, it's unclear whether this man is actually related to Star or not, but I'm under the impression that he's the father of her half-siblings who share the same mother as Star. Let's take a look at that clip.
Come on now. It's just a dance. Come on. I don't want to make you love me. I just want to take your time. I don't want to wreck your Friday. I ain't gonna waste my life. I don't have to take your heart. I just want to take your time. I know it starts with hello, and next thing you know, you try to be nice, and some guys get too close, trying to pick you up, trying to get you wrong. And I'm sure one of your friends is about to come over here, because she's supposed to save you from random guys that talk too much and want to stay too long. It's the same old song and dance, but I think you know it well. You could have rolled your eyes, so let it go to hell. Could have walked away. You're still here, and I'm still here.
The scene is pretty difficult to watch, considering Star is brought to tears as she's being essentially sexually abused by someone who presumably has a lot of control in her life. If you paid close attention, you would have noticed a Confederate flag displayed on the wall behind the characters. This was by no means a coincidence. But before I delve any further into this topic, I want to show the second clip so I can talk about the motif as a whole. The next instance that features the Confederate flag is arguably one of the most tense scenes in the entire film. Star is called into Crystal's hotel room and lectured on doing whatever it takes to make a sale and the importance of handing over her earnings to Crystal. Let's watch.
So tell me, what was it that you don't agree with that Jake does? The lying? He ain't lying, he's selling. That's his job. I don't get what you want. You want to make money or you don't.
I want to make money.
What?
I want to make money.
She just needs more time. Go with the wild ones, you know?
I'm not a fucking cow.
It costs me when you don't earn. Do you get that? This shit, the motel, the gas, everything, that costs me. And I can't run my business like that. So you show me you can do it or I'll leave you on the side of the road. Clear?
Crystal.
Obviously, in this clip, Crystal is wearing a Confederate flag bikini as she essentially tells Star to stay in her place. So, what does this clip and the previous one have in common other than the presence of the Confederate flag? Abuse of power. Whether she's being groped by a father figure or patronized by her boss, in both scenes, Star is on the receiving end of toxic power relations. Earlier in the video, I mentioned how othering can result in the idolization of superior identities. Well, it can also work as a manifestation of power relations. According to French philosopher Michel Foucault, othering is strongly connected with power and knowledge. When we other another group, we point out their perceived differences to make ourselves look stronger or better. This implies a hierarchy, and it serves to keep power where it already lies. Now, considering the Confederate flag's historical association with white supremacy, Its presence in these scenes in which our black protagonist faces oppression from white characters seems like a deliberate decision by the filmmakers. I want to conclude this video essay by talking about the ending of the film because not only is it a genuinely beautiful moment, but it also offers a thematic conclusion, so let's check it out. As you saw, Star initially joins the group dancing and running around the campfire. She's taken out of the action for a brief moment and given a turtle by Jake, and in that brief moment, she has an epiphany. She realizes what has been subtly hinted at throughout the entire film, that she doesn't belong. When she emerges from the water, she's not just emerging for a breath of air, she's emerging as a person reborn. The music from the campfire is silenced, and the only sound we hear is the water dripping from her dreadlocks. This conclusion is pretty open-ended, but my reading of it is that Star's emergence from the water symbolizes her liberation from her past, from this group, and from being subordinated and treated like another.